Election day is approaching quickly, and at this stage, Kamala Harris is not where she needs to be. The Democratic candidate is underperforming across the polling spectrum, and according to analysis by The Hill, the Vice President is consistently below where Joe Biden was in 2020 and where Hillary Clinton was in 2016, while support for Donald Trump is taking off. And if there is something that Donald Trump is brilliant at, it's his way of connecting with voters. And in another election first during this campaign, Donald Trump has been working at McDonald's. It is not often that you see this. And this move has energized his fans even more. Just take a look at the amount of people who turned out to support him. After serving up French fries, the Republican candidate spent Sunday night at a football game in the key state of Pennsylvania. USA! 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 Now, as for Kamala Harris, the Vice President marked her 60th birthday with a soft interview on MSNBC where she repeated what Americans already know, which is the cost of living is too high.
Look. Price of groceries still too high. I get it, they get it. And what are we doing to help them actually get through life in a way that they're not just getting by, but getting ahead? We have to have specific policies that do that. And that is what I offer under what I call an opportunity economy approach.
Now, Kamala Harris has been trying to distance herself from Joe Biden ever since he was ousted from the campaign. But following reports that there's been tension between Joe Biden's team and Kamala Harris's team, there are now reports that Kamala Harris has no plans to campaign in person with Joe Biden in the final crucial weeks before Election Day. None at all. I almost feel a bit sorry for Joe Biden that the Democrats will say one thing on camera that is wonderful, but really, they want to keep the gaslighting going and just hope that voters forget that it's been the Biden-Harris administration in office for the past 3.5 years, which is why the country, according to the majority of voters, is on the wrong track. The betting odds still have Donald Trump well ahead of Kamala Harris. Sky News host Paul Murray joined Power Hour to give his take as to why Donald Trump is in front. But look, Kamala Harris, she's clearly losing support in the polls. And if you look at the betting odds, Polymarket had Donald Trump with an almost 20-point lead last night. So, Paul, what's your prediction? What's going to happen as a result or off the back of this interview?
Well, today, look at the timestamp, 2 and a bit weeks out. So don't go and take your clips and go, see, they were right, they were wrong. Trump's in front. Why? Real Clear Politics average, okay? If you have a look at the Real Clear Politics average, he's leading in 6 of the 7 swing states. Yep. The polling mistakes, not margin of error, mistakes at the last election had they overcounted Biden anywhere between 2 and 4 points, depending on the state, depending on the poll. So if Trump in the averages is up slightly and they're still undercounting his vote, well, then Trump is way in front. That said, there are weird things that pop around. In fact, during the interview, as it was going to air, Fox released their poll that nationally showed that Trump is leading nationally, but she's leading in the swing states, but they wouldn't say what swing states it was. So if you're forcing me, and when you look at me like that, you know you're going to get an answer out of me. It's Trump right now. Strange things can happen because don't forget as well, North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, hundreds of thousands of people don't have a house. All right. So how are they going to vote? Where are they going to vote? Can they be bothered to vote? Who knows, right? But on the data that we have, and as you say, people putting down their own money, Trump's in the lead today.
Recent polling shows that Kamala Harris is starting to lose support from black men, and she's now creating an opportunity agenda for black men. That's a new policy pitch. And of course, we've heard a lecture from Barack Obama lecturing black men who might not want to vote for Kamala Harris, but these aren't great signs that she's in a good position. She's looking, I would say, pretty desperate at the moment.
So that thing that's on screen just there, right? I think it's point number 1 or 2, which is loans you don't have to pay back, right? Forgivable loans, they're called, of up to $20-something thousand. Last point, let's legalise weed. Now, what sort of a borderline racist pitch is that to any voters, let alone black male voters, to say free money and get stoned? That is not serious. Now, again, will she win the vast majority of African American voters? Yes. Why? Because of the historic issues when it comes to the Democrats. But we see in this election young men, be it black, white, Hispanic or Asian, who may well be watching shows like this, listening to Rogan. They are completely independent people who are not going to do what their mummy or daddy or Uncle Barry is going to tell them what to do.
Yeah, and just finally, there are reports that there are tensions between Kamala Harris's team and also Joe Biden's team. Joe Biden really hasn't helped Kamala Harris's campaign, has he?
Well, no, because he has not allowed her to say whatever, in order to win, do whatever's necessary, including you can throw me, not all the way, but just maybe a pinky toe under the bus by turning around and saying, you know what, we haven't got it all right, but I've been a loyal number two. When I'm number one, we'll get those things right. So that on top of what you're starting to see, and there was an interesting story from NBC News over the weekend, which was that there's a little bit of fighting inside the campaign in Pennsylvania. Now, the expectation is that Pennsylvania is actually not going well for her, Michigan as well. However, could that be offset by North Carolina, Georgia? Guess what? We'll all find out together.
Paul Murray, it is so brilliant to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour.
Love ya.